Ever since I was a kid, toothbrushes have only come in one of two styles. You have the cheap plastic ones the dentist gives you for free, and you have plastic electric toothbrushes. And somehow, decades later, the toothbrush industry hasn't really changed. You could argue the electric motors are more powerful today, some brushes now have mobile apps, but you're still met with the same basic choice. It's a cheap plastic manual brush or a more expensive plastic electric toothbrush. No one brush stands out among the crowd. They all have basically the same features, the same color patterns, and they use the same materials. But recently I discovered one toothbrush in a league of its own. It's the first toothbrush I've seen that feels like it actually belongs in the 21st century, and it's already replaced my old electric toothbrush. It's called the Laifen Wave. It might be the most beautiful toothbrush I've ever seen, it's definitely the most powerful, but that's only a fraction of what makes this toothbrush extraordinary. So in this video, we're going to go through all the features of the Laifen Wave, everything from its construction, its design, its battery, its mobile app, the overall brushing experience, and even a few things I'd like to see Laifen improve. The first thing you'll notice about this brush is the seamless stainless steel wrapper. It's all one piece from top to bottom, including the subtle indent for the power button. The Wave has an IPX7 waterproof rating, which means it can be submerged in up to 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes. So you can use this brush in the shower and you don't have to worry about getting it wet. The Wave also comes in 4 different materials. This one is stainless steel. It also comes in titanium, aluminum alloy, and ABS plastic. The stainless steel Wave clocks in at 163 grams, which gives it the kind of weight in your hands that you'd expect from a premium product. And among the 4 variations that Laifen offers, the stainless steel one is the heaviest. Here's how it compares to other premium electric toothbrushes and manual toothbrushes. In terms of size, the Wave's body is roughly the same diameter as other premium electric toothbrushes, but it is shorter. And because you also don't need a charging dock permanently on your counter, it feels like it's a much more compact package. Now, going beyond the handle, Laifen uses a plastic brush head which clicks right into the body with tapered plastic bristles. These bristles start at 0.2 millimeters of diameter at the base, and they taper to just 0.02 millimeters at the tip to make it easier to get in between your gums and teeth to clear out debris. But since all of our teeth and gums are different, there's really no one-size-fits-all approach to dental care. So Laifen, with every single toothbrush you buy, gives you 3 different brush heads to choose from. One is less aggressive, one is more aggressive, and one is somewhere in the middle. Laifen also takes a different approach to charging. Most electric toothbrushes either use a charging dock or disposable AA or AAA batteries, neither of which is a great user experience. Charging docks take up permanent space on your counter, they have long cables that get tangled up in all your other stuff, and they build up debris over time, which eventually starts to look kind of gross. In return, though, you get a toothbrush that's fully charged at all times. Disposable batteries eliminate the need for a charging dock entirely, but the hassle of searching for a fresh AA or AAA battery when your toothbrush dies on you is a real pain point. Laifen uses a lithium-ion battery which lasts up to 30 days, as well as a dockless charging cable, USB-C to MagSafe, that takes only 2.5 hours to fully charge. So you don't get the benefit of a fully charged brush all the time, but you also don't have to deal with the hassle of docks and charging cables lying around on your countertop or searching for fresh AA batteries when your toothbrush dies on you, and I'll take that trade-off any day. Now, you may have noticed the MagSafe charging port looks a lot like Apple's old MacBook chargers, but the Apple design inspiration actually goes so much deeper here. Everything from the unboxing experience to the seamless stainless steel wrapper to the simplicity to the app interface, it all reminds me of Apple. And I don't know much about patent law or how close these similarities can get before you start getting into trouble, but it's refreshing to see a different toothbrush design in a world full of white plastic brushes with vibrant accent colors and rubber grips. In fact, the more I've used it, the more it feels like this is the adult version of a toothbrush. Everything about it is sophisticated and simple, reliable, and it just makes all the other colorful plastic toothbrushes look like they were made for children. There's only one pressable button on this toothbrush, again drawing comparisons to Apple with the one main button on all the early iPhones. One press of the button turns the toothbrush on. A long press of the button puts it into flight mode so you don't accidentally leave your toothbrush on while it's rolling around in your suitcase. By default, the brush also shuts off after 2 minutes, but that's something you can change in the app if you want a longer or shorter default shutoff time. But beyond the design, power and oscillation is really where the Laifen Wave separates itself from the competition. It vibrates 66,000 times per minute, which is 1,100 times per second. And from the moment I turned it on, it was obvious that this was the most powerful toothbrush I've ever used. I mean, it's the closest I've ever been to that completely clean feeling your teeth get after you visited the dentist. But cleanliness takes more than just raw power. The Wave also oscillates left and right up to 60 degrees while it's vibrating up and down. So it's whipping around in every direction at over 1,000 times per second, so you can just really let it do the work for you. I have yet to find any toothbrush that can compete with the Wave on power and oscillation, but if you know of any, leave them in the comments. Now, some people hear all these power stats and they think that's awesome. Others think, what if this brush is too powerful? What if I have sensitive gums? That's where the Laifen app comes in. It's the main hub to control all your toothbrush settings, so you can go in there and change the vibration, the frequency, the oscillation, anything you want. You can make it more or less aggressive. You can also put your toothbrush into flight mode manually from the app, and you can set certain brushing presets if you'd like. The app doesn't do any of the more complicated things like AI tracking and tooth mapping and pressure readings, and it's not going to produce a score after every time you brush your teeth. But for me, personally, I don't mind. I'm not a fan of toothbrushing apps in general. I think it's overkill for a task that's only supposed to take 2 minutes of your life, but this app is simple enough. All the settings are on one screen and the changes are reflected on the brush instantly. Between the specs, the design, the battery, the simplicity, this toothbrush is the real deal. It is a big step up from all the other premium electric toothbrushes, so it's reasonable to think that it also comes with a higher price tag. But it doesn't. The ABS plastic version of this brush is $69, aluminum is $79, stainless steel is $99, titanium is $159, and all of this is a fraction of the cost of the top-of-the-line Oral-B and Philips electric toothbrushes, which frankly are not as performant as the Laifen Wave. So you may be asking, if this toothbrush is so great, why hasn't Laifen already disrupted Oral-B, Philips, all the other toothbrush manufacturers out there? Well, for one, Laifen was founded in 2019, so they've still got this burden of proof to overcome to prove they can be a sustainable business and to build up a reputation. Second, Laifen is not even a dental care brand. They've only got 2 products. Their first one was a hair dryer, very powerful and well designed, but their ethos is to bring top-of-the-line technology and affordability to everyday appliances. So I can see how one might be suspicious of a new tech company that doesn't specialize in toothbrushes trying to come in and disrupt the whole industry. But we've seen this before with outsiders like Apple and Tesla disrupting the stagnant cell phone and auto markets that weren't pushing the boundaries on innovation. And personally, I think we're seeing it again here. But as extraordinary as this brush is, no product is perfect, and there are a few things I'd like to see the Laifen team improve. First, the plastic brush head and plastic bristles seem like they are ripe for disruption. I mean, for all the concern people have these days about microplastics in their food, in their water, in their clothes, why aren't any brands building plastic-free toothbrush heads? I mean, this thing vibrates inside your mouth over 1,000 times per second, so it's definitely leaving a trail of microscopic plastic particles every time you brush. And I know this because eventually every toothbrush goes from looking like this to looking like this. And all the plastic that's missing from the second toothbrush has likely been absorbed by your body. So this isn't really a critique of Laifen specifically. Pretty much everyone uses plastic bristles. I just want to see someone start to experiment with non-plastic options, and I think Laifen is the most innovative and the most likely to pursue something like this. Second, as much as I love the stainless steel body on this brush, it is a little slippery when it gets wet. So maybe Laifen could help with the grip situation by machining little grooves into the side of the stainless steel body. Third, I wish the charging cable used USB-C on both ends. I don't have any other devices that use MagSafe ports, so I have to keep this extra cable lying around the house. Finally, there is no standardization for electric toothbrush heads. I have to use the Laifen head on the Laifen brush body. I wish there was more cross-compatibility. Maybe toothbrushes could take a lesson from safety razors where all the blades are more or less compatible with all the different razors. But overall, I'm impressed with the Wave. It's got insane power and oscillation, sleek design, great battery that does not require a permanent charging dock, and it has an app that is simple to use with all the basic features. So if you want to take your toothbrushing game to the next level, click the link in the description and go pick one up.